Segment number 3, watch what you bet, Teddy. People are gamblers here. Let's get into it. The last time we checked in on the association with the Sixers and the Indiana Pacers, Teddy, both blowout winners. One at home, one on the road. They're going to tee it up tonight, Sixers versus Pacers. Pacers as an early favorite, getting even more money. The time I punched up this ticket here, the Pacers were -3 total of 224.5. Money line split about 130, -150. 7 p.m. in Indianapolis tonight, Teddy. And as we talked about it, now, the situation that we have in this game, Pacers are a pretty good home team. We know that. Sixers came off really knocking around the T-Wolves. Maybe a little bit of an emotional game for Jimmy Butler now heading back on the road. Could that have an effect in this game? I don't even want to say a letdown game, but saying I was so emotional for this game. Now we go on the road and face a decent Pacers team. Is that going to play into it tonight, Teddy?
A decent Pacers team. Pacers are ahead of the Sixers in the standings right now. Indiana's a monster. And
come on, we're going to get them, Teddy. We're going to get them. We'll get them.
Maybe you will, but from a point spread perspective, there's no comparison between these two teams. Indiana's making money and Philly hasn't. The Sixers have been, I'm not going to say an overvalued commodity, but at least a properly priced commodity, and the Pacers have been undervalued all year long. Indiana, by the way, got that win over Phoenix, 131-97. They got it despite the fact that Oladipo didn't even do anything. Quote, they don't need me to score right now. I don't need to score. I had 4 shots in the first half, and we're up 11. That's the beauty of our team. We play well together. But the quotes, I'm going to give 2 quotes right here and tell you what my opinion is on this game. We had 2 teams coming off incredibly hot shooting performances where the T-Wolves hung, 149 or something, and the Pacers made everything. Here's Nate McMillan, Indiana's head coach. We established ourselves right from the start defensively. We forced 10 turnovers in the first quarter. We had 8 or 9 deflections, so we were really active. That's Pacers defense, all of a sudden, which hasn't been as good of late, coming off a really good game. Jimmy Butler talking about the 149 points they scored. Quote, that's how we look when we guard. I think we do a great job of scoring defense, but of scoring points, but whenever we guard, we're a really tough team. So let's learn from this. I think we're going to see defense tonight. Both of these squads have it in them. We saw everything fall for both squads in the last game that they played. No surprise here if this is a relatively low-scoring game between a couple of squads that have potential to really step it up on the defensive end of the floor.
Another interesting one, and don't do a double take today, folks. By the time you'll be getting this show, that betting show with me and Teddy, you're actually going to have an NBA game that's going to be underway between the Knicks and the Wizards, which starts at 3 p.m. noon tip out there in Vegas from the O2 Arena over in Great Britain. So one to keep an eye out for. So if you're looking at the lineups and you're saying, you know what, I think I might want to get down on the Knicks, make sure you know that time because that game is going to be teeing it up pretty quickly here. Let's head to NCAA action. Michigan State, should I say the Red Hot Spartans, come in to face the Big Red on Thursday night. But looking at some of these numbers here, 3-3 in conference, Nebraska, red hot Michigan State, Teddy, then they hang a nice +1.5 out there to try to sink your teeth into a total of 146. Moneyline pretty cheap out there, +113, 133 split. 8 p.m. Fox Sports 1. As we talked about, Michigan coming in 4-1 straight up and against the spread on the road this year. Huskers coming in 9-0 in their home court, 6-1-1 against the spread. So certainly putting money in your pocket. Michigan State, red hot. Nebraska, the Big Red, Teddy. Any advantages here between these two?
Well, we're talking about 2 teams that have had monster point spread runs. I got Sparty 13-3 against the spread their last 16 games. This is a team that perennially is a Final Four contender. They have a named head coach in Tom Izzo. There's superstars all over the floor, NBA prospects all over the floor. At 13-3 ATS, it's a heck of a run. I'm not convinced that Sparty can go on a much better run than that. They're a very public college basketball team. When it comes to Nebraska Huskers, you talked about what they've done at home. 9-0 straight up, 6-1-1 against the spread. How about this for Nebraska? Their last 38 line games, 29 wins, 8 losses, 1 push. That's insane. That's not a short run. That's not a medium run. That is extended point spread success from a team that has been dramatically overvalued for the better part of 2 years. So you say, which team's going to hold their value? Is it the public top 25 squad that everyone knows the coach? Or is it, most people don't really know who frickin' Tim Miles is. I'll tell you this. I thank the Lord that Nebraska didn't fire Tim Miles after that 12-win season back in 2017 because all he's done is cash tickets to me for the last 2 years. The guy, I owe him a Christmas card. I owe him a Christmas present. I don't step in front of Tim Miles right now. the Nebraska Cornhuskers continue to be an undervalued commodity, even after this epic 38-game point spread run.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at, I mean, obviously a lot of public support there for Michigan State coming in here. Low line definitely leads toward Nebraska. A couple of similar looks last night that we had, Teddy, with Illinois at home and also Penn State in two similar situations. Those ended up going 1-1. We'll see if Nebraska can pull out that short dog feature. Sunday action, Teddy, 6:40 p.m. East Coast, 3:40 out there on the West Coast. I can't wait for this game. So much going into it. Big Red, can he get over the hump with Kansas City? You know, Kansas City may be putting those losing ways in the playoffs behind the rearview mirror at Arrowhead. You have the New England Patriots coming in who crush everybody at home, but a different story this year on the road, going 3-5 overall. We'll see if that Kansas City defense can hold up against Tom Brady and vice versa. Looking at this game heading into it, Teddy, as we talked about already, the weather conditions going to be chilly in Kansas City. Not much wind and obviously precipitation expected in this one. But did we see the normalness of New England on the road this year? Is that what we're going to get? Or are we going to see this New England team fired up? Bill Belichick's ready to go. We're going to shut down young Patrick Mahomes on our way to yet another Super Bowl run here, Teddy.
When you think about the first meeting, and again, I don't put too much emphasis on the first meeting. But when you think about that first meeting, the Patriots moved the ball up and down the field on Kansas City. And Kansas City, they had, two big play touchdowns? One to Hunt, one to Hill. The Hill one's a big one to cover the point spread. They had a kickoff return touchdown. They took advantage of a Patriots turnover deep in their own territory. Basically, they had 24 relatively cheap points in that ball game out of the 40 that they scored. Of course, the rematch is at Arrowhead, not in KC. But there's no question this Patriots team that is trying to play the underdog role and doing it successfully. We'll talk about that in just a minute when it comes to off the mic. But it's this dynasty Patriots team is facing that no one believes in us. That's a great strategy for New England. It's worked very well for them in seasons past. We're talking about Tom Brady, who's thrown 228 consecutive passes in the playoffs without an interception, and a Chiefs defense that has shown real vulnerability to balanced attacks all season. The Patriots are capable of running the football. That's been their offense over the back half of the campaign. Grind it out on the ground. For Kansas City to win and cover this game, they're going to have to stop that, and they're going to have to find Patrick Mahomes a way to make some big plays like they did in the last ball game time these two teams met. And the Chiefs defense the last couple of weeks has been really good. Is that aberration? Is that an improvement? We'll find out on Sunday. But I ran into this. I didn't double check it. And I should double check this stuff before I put on air, but it was just so fascinating to me. The 4 quarterbacks from the AFC that have beaten Tom Brady in the playoffs over the last 20 years. Everyone knows Peyton Manning. That's one. I'll give you $1 million. You can name the other 3 without looking it up because you won't. Jake Plummer. I don't have $1 million to give you, not cash. Jake Plummer, Joe Flacco, Mark Sanchez. That's it. So you're saying, oh my God, the elite QBs? No, it hasn't been the elite QBs beating Tom Brady in the postseason. Patrick Mahomes will become and be viewed as an elite QB if he can win this game for Kansas City. Right now, at this stage of his career, we can only look at him as an upstart. This is a prove-it game for Patrick Mahomes against a pretty good defensive mind in Belichick.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch, especially on the defensive side for Kansas City, Teddy. That front seven can get after the quarterback. If you give Tom Brady some time to throw and he can manipulate the pocket, that's going to do some damage. But we'll see how that plays out Sunday. As I said again, Conference Championship weekend. We'll wrap that up tomorrow on the channels here at sportsbookraview.com. We'll go over both of those games again, try to propel you into the weekend.